Hello everyone, hello my dear chess friends. Today we'll take a look in the game between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura. They're playing a grand finals in Paris, so no preparation, freestyle chess, and definitely I didn't check so much of the freestyle chess, but here we have the end game that's perfectly, I will use the word normal. So we have opposite color bishops where Carlsen had a white pieces and he's like 2 pawns up against the pieces of Nakamura. But here Nakamura actually defended unbelievably. So he has a king on h7 that's protecting and like not allowing this guy on the h6 to go forward. So now Nakamura here played a very good move. The move was rook to c2 check. It's always good when you can, in the end games like this, you can push your king backward. So here the king of Magnus played king to e1. And now when I analyze this position, of course, on my phone for the first time, when I saw this, I was really shocked that here, after such a unbelievable defense, Hikaru didn't take the h2 pawn and he played a blunder. But before we go for a blunder, let's explain what's going on after the move rook to h2. After, I think that here, instead to take the pawn, I think Hikaru was afraid where to go after bishop f8 and this open check on the king. I think Hikaru was not sure where to go with the king. So I think he maybe calculated line with the king g6 that's actually losing. So the reason is why this is losing is that here white has rook to g7 check. And of course, here black can't take the pawn because of rook e7 check, and this bishop is going down because it's an open check with this bishop. So here, after king f6, there is another check that's a problem. That's a bishop e7 check, and now the g5 pawn is going, let's say, it's going down. Basically, of course, with the bishop, and all these black pawns are just destroyed. So here, in this moment over there, my point is that here, after this rook to h2 and let's say bishop f8, here Nakamura wanted to go with the king forward and he saw rook g7, and that's the reason why he didn't take the h2 pawn. But the question is, what's going on here if black goes simply with the plan with the king to g8? The reason is, I think this move Nakamura didn't see because with the king to g8, now if this bishop goes to, let's say, bishop to g7, black has an unbelievable blockade, just king to h7. And now whenever this bishop goes, we can just play king forward. Let's say check, now we can take it. So basically here in this moment after the move king h7, there is a blockade that black king can't go anywhere, and looks like that black will be perfectly safe in this position on the board. But instead of this plan here, and Nakamura here played a move that's a bit of strange. He played a move bishop to a2. I think exactly the reason for this mistake was that he thought, I will explain again, after this, I think he just saw this, and now after rook g7, king h6, rook to e7. So the point was, when he played this move bishop a2, I think in his brain he wanted to take the h2 pawn, but in the same time he wanted to defend the bishop on e6. So that's a kind of reveal of the blunder. So what the hell is after the bishop a2? Now the problem is that it's a very simple way for Magnus to win the game. So this is a kind of a blunder that when it happened one time, the game is instantly over. The point is that after the move bishop to f8, there is no place for the black king to hide. So let's go, for example, if here black goes now back, there is a very clear checkmate pattern. So now here he can play the move h7 check. The problem is that this bishop is too far away now, so he can't help the black king. So after h7 check, obviously black can't take it because we have a promotion. So after the move king to h8, black king is kind of like now in the corner, but the problem is that after bishop to d6, this bishop will go to e5, and there will be a checkmate on the e5 square, so black rook can't help it any way. So here, if you go king to g8, there is h7 with a checkmate, and if you start with the plan with the king to g6, the whole point is that now white can give this check rook to g7. And now if Nakamura tries to take this pawn on h6, there is a rook to c7 check, and of course this rook, it's open check, so rook on c2 is going down. So after the move king to g6 or rook to g7, I suppose the only idea that black can play is this, but now there is a simply bishop to e5, and now all these pawns are going down pretty, let's say, pretty quickly, or let's say that's a good thing. He can just keep grabbing the pawns, or just the move like h7 should be enough, because now after rook to h2, bishop to g5 again, this is kind of like these pawns are kind of like a little fortress. Black can't do anything. There is no way how he can do. And in the same time, if this black king moves anywhere, the bishop will go to f6 and the h pawn will become a queen very, very soon. So the problem is that after black here moved the bishop to a2, the game is unbelievably over. And after bishop a2, bishop f8 here, Nakamura resigned instantly. So of course both moves are losing king g8 because of the queen, and the king g6 because of the losing almost all the pawns in the game. So the game is over pretty quickly. For me, unbelievable game. Seems like Nakamura is always blundering against the Magnus Carlsen. We had such a hard endgame where I think that at some point here especially Carlsen made a mistake playing the move e4, allowing the position, let's say the move f5, where black was so close to make a draw. But as you can see here, why the chess is a brutal game. With every move you make, you need to be completely right. So there is no place for mistake. Just one mistake and your game is going down. So unbelievable game and unbelievable, let's say, win number one for Magnus Carlsen. It seems like that Magnus is winning. I will say this match from psychological point of view, because if Nakamura defended like this and he lost the game, I'm not sure what will really happen in the game too. So thank you so much for your time. This is the first time I'm commenting freestyle chess. I hope this will be useful for you. So if you like the video, please subscribe and like the video, and yeah, let's say let me know what we can change and what we can do next. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you in the next video.